Hello everyone, welcome to Adaptive Fashion Vids. Today we'll learn how to add an opening for catheter access into pants. For this you'll need snap button tape. So to start out, we're going to take the pants and start taking out the seam that we would like to replace with the snap opening. So we went ahead and measured how long we would like our opening to be and marked that with pins and made sure that we had enough snap tape to do the project. And now we're just taking out the seam from the pins where we marked it. So to start, we took the snap tape and lined it up at the inseam of the pant and took equal snaps to both sides and just marked where that would be with the pins. And here we're taking out the seams with the seam ripper. So where we marked on both sides, we're just going to start taking out the seam, just so we make sure that the other side of the pants that we would like to remain intact stays intact. And then sometimes you can get lucky and the seam will pull out like that. So we're going to do that on the other seams just to make sure there is an opening for us to put the snap tape. So we're just taking out the seams here. As with other projects, it is easier if you take the pants inside out. That way you are able to see the seams and see the threads that need to be cut for the seam to be opened. And these clips are sped up just to show you the process of finding the seams and cutting the seams. This will be different for each pair of pants, just depending on the amount of seams and the thickness of the material. So you can turn it right side out or inside out, just depending on where you feel would be best. You're just trying to get these seams out of the pants and not make any holes in the pants that are unnecessary. So you want a nice clean finish. And here we got the seam started on the right side out part of the pants and then flipped it back. That was just where we felt we would be able to get the best view of the seams. So after the seam has been removed, we aligned the snap tape with the pants and pinned it in place. This is inside out pants, and we took that and lined it up on the inseam, and we are using the snap portion that has the raised snaps on it here. And we're just sewing that in place, taking out pins as we go. And here is showing the inseam of the pant. That line right there is the seam in the middle, also called the inseam, and that will show you the middle of where to line up your snaps if you want them to be equal on both sides. And because this is being sewn on the front and top portion of the snaps, we are folding the pant underneath the snap tape just to make sure that there are no frayed edges that appear on the outside. We want this to be a nice finished look, so this is showing how the seam is tucked under that so that you have a nice hem at the end. And we are using a darker thread here, and that's just so you can get a good view of this. But if you would like for your thread to blend in a bit more, we would recommend using a khaki color or a lighter color. And then you're going to take the other side and sew that down as well as the edges. And then you can cut the excess snaps off at the end. And then we're going to take the other portion of the snap tape and align it with the snap tape that is already sewn in place and just pin it how it aligns up. And here it won't be important to make sure that the hem is tucked under the snap tape, as the top portion will cover the bottom portion and will not be visible from the outside. So we started with one edge of the snap tape, and then the next one that we will pin is in the middle, and that's just to allow the snap tape to be aligned as easily as possible. If you start with one side, go to the middle, and then the outside, if those are all properly aligned, then the inside portions of the snap tape will also be aligned. After your snaps are pinned in place, you can go ahead and take it to the sewing machine and you're going to sew the snap tape down on both sides and secure it on the edges. This clip is sped up just to show you the process of sewing and the idea of where the snap tape should be at the end. And once you have one edge of the snap tape sewn in place, you can go ahead and sew the other side of the snap tape, just keeping everything aligned and making sure both sides are being sewn together. And then once you're done, you can clip off the excess and go ahead and pin portions that may need some extra reinforcing. So on the edges, you can take the snap tape and just make sure everything's flush and out of the way as much as possible. Here's the final product. This project is useful for anyone who wants to convert their pants to be able to easily access a catheter. This is especially useful for those who use a wheelchair who might not want to remove their pants to access a catheter, or where that situation might be a bit difficult. So this just shows how the pants can open up. This can be made smaller or larger based on the user's needs. So again, to make this blend in a little bit more, we would recommend using a thread that is close to the color of the pants that would be used. So in this case, a khaki thread would be less visible than the navy thread that we use for this project. That's just to allow a better visualization of the threads in relation to the pants when we're demonstrating. But this is what it looks like from the outside, and it is pretty discreet as an accessible feature. So that's what it looks like up close, but when someone is sitting, it shouldn't be able to be seen. For more information about adaptive fashion and beauty products, please visit the resource page at unitedspinal.org. Thanks for watching.